RNG in the end. And so you have to wonder, how are things going to shape up here? Because these guys, they only had a best of 1 during the Demacia Cup.
I think we're slowly starting to realize, though, that Demacia Cup results don't always net you spring split results, as a lot of those conversations we were having haven't worked out of those. That being said, JDG are sitting top of the table, so maybe I'm not fully in the right. However, we are jumping into pick and ban, and they are coming in quick and fast.
They certainly are. On the side of EDG, we've got 2 junglers taken away in the likes of Gragas and Kiana, as well as the Lucian. And then top Esports going to be taking away the top laners in Akali and Renekton, and then Elise off the board as well.
Well, we are going to see Karsa's Lee Sin taken away from him, not wanting that early game jungler to fall into the hands of top Esports. Does leave a lot up and available, though, for top. Misfortune, Leona, Rumble, all these picks that they're going to be pretty happy. Even the Kiana as well. Oh, no, sorry, Kiana is banned, but a lot of picks top Esports can go for.
You have to bring up the question of, if you're EDG, if you're JGA, do you have to practice Lee Sin coming into this series just because you know you have to respect first pick it so Karsa can't get his hands on it?
If someone on Twitter can find his match history and post it just to see what he has been playing, I'd really appreciate it, because I'd imagine that is what you have to go for. This would be an interesting one. I'd be surprised it went for the Skarner. Is traditionally a counter to the Lee Sin, because every time he goes in, you just snatch him out of the kick, but we'll not be seeing that. Instead, they are going for the Jarvan, which means that you're putting pressure onto EDG here to try and go for the Rumble. Take that one away so you're not putting the melting pot into the hands of top Esports.
Senna and Leona will be the lock-ins on the side of EDG. So you've got the dark and the light coming on through in that bottom lane. That's going to be for Hope and Mako. Now we'll see what top Esports want to answer for their final pick here in the first round of the draft. Something like a sport would not be surprising at all. But then, Dagda, what are we going to be looking towards in these bans and these last picks?
I'm assuming that you are going to see the mid lane bans coming through. Get rid of these picks that can be so easily blind picked. The LeBlanc is the big one. We've seen Aurelia kind of rise to that as well because of the flex. And more than likely, I'm still seeing Mordekaiser up and available. I'd imagine EDG want to get that out of the hands of 369.
Yeah, and the Gangplank as well, one of those top laners that, you know, we're not seeing it in every series, but specific players really love to grab that one for themselves. 369, more than happy to take that pick.
Yeah, I mean, the Vladimir, as you said, is going to be pretty big. I mean, there's a couple of other ones. The Gangplank is that one that's been banned away as well, so I want to see if 369 will still be able to pick up a carry. Definitely someone who likes to be in that carry role from that top lane, or at least have another facet of pressure that top Esports can apply on the map.
Well, it's going to be Rumble taken off the board as the final ban for EDG. And now into,
there we go.
Instant answer. They know that they want the Zoe. Knight more than happy to take this blind.
I mean, this is Knight's perfect pick. He loves the Zoe, and it's one that we look at to go, if you want to see what Zoe is capable of in the hands of a master, this is where you look, towards Knight. Able to find the craziest of angles to pick people off, even behind Brom shields and everything else that's being tossed to try and keep carry safe. Doesn't matter, Knight will sneak in that paddle star and dish out the damage that's needed.
Jinnu does have the Aatrox for himself, though, for that top lane. And I'm curious what the answer to this Zoe will be from the side of EDG. What can Scout do to lock down Knight? That's our featured matchup, the mid lane. We'll see what the answer is going to be.
Well, it's going to look towards something like the Syndra can do quite well and help to set up a gank for JJ to try and get in. But it's going to be back towards something that's been rumored and whispered about being very strong. We have seen it previously in the LPL, the Diana coming into the mid. Again, the idea, get in, close the distance onto this Zoe to help set up JJ on this Lee Sin to shut Knight down.
And now, top Esports, they're going to go for a Jack. Second one of the day. We do see 369 is going to find himself the carry that he was looking for. We've got Knight on the Zoe. Photic, the guy that we've got question marks around for top, has the Misfortune, incredibly strong in the current meta. Very easy to do exceptionally well with. On the other side, though, EDG, they've got a bit of a different style of composition.
Yeah, they're most certainly going for I mean, you've got the 1-3-1 if you want to go for it, where Aatrox and Diana are off in side lanes. The problem that you're seeing, though, is that if you opt for that style, Senna doesn't really do the damage that you would like to the towers. So realistically, they're more going to go for a 1-4, where they're juggling the teleports that are available to their solo lanes on EDG to push in towards the tower and maybe find some of these team fights.
Well, a lot of people have been suggesting that Karsa and Knight could be the best mid-jungle duo in the LPL. This is one of the matchups that they need to prove that in. They're going to be going up against Scout in the mid lane and GAGA in the jungle. This is one of the teams that they're going to be contesting for the top of the table. We'll see if they've got what it takes.
And it's a big call from JJ, in that draft to go, I want Lee Sin first pick. This is what I want to take either away from Karsa or show what I'm capable of against the potentially one of the best junglers in the league.
We'll have to see what they're going to be able to do and whether they're going to be able to shut down the enemy mid and jungle, but also down in that bottom lane. Hope versus Photic, the battle of the rookies in the AD carry position. We'll see who's going to be able to get the edge across the course of this series. And I'm just excited to see Nice Zoe again, man. He's so good.
I mean, we were all watching from home, just oohing and ahhing at what this guy was capable of on the Zoe. Now you set him up where he can play with the likes of Karsa and Photic, get some decent damage down, follow up with the bullet time while 369 is off on a split push in the side lane. You've got a pretty potent lanes for top esports. That's not even talking about the fact if 369 does decide to join in. We saw what Natural was capable of doing in some of these team fights only earlier on today on the Jax. Now we'll have to see if 369 can potentially have a better start to the game than Natural did, though. That sounds more like a fire safety announcement than a cheer, to be honest. If you look to the left, you'll see one of your fire exits.
I don't know if any of the Chinese fans at home that are watching can translate. I'm curious, what is the third chant for? I get one for each team. What's the third chant? Someone tweet that at me or something, because I'm really curious what that's about. But let's talk about EDG here. Is top gonna look for a little bit of cheese down in this bottom lane, see if they can find an early hook from Chocho. It's not gonna happen though. EDG is definitely a team of legacy, of loyalty. These guys more than happy to reward loyalty for their players. When you think of EDG, you think of Clearlove, right? He was a player for 5 years. Now he's going to be the coach for this squad. Mako has been on the team for almost 5 years as well. And then Scout joined the team back in spring 2016. Now when you look towards the bottom lane, Hope, this is a player that wants to become one of these franchise players for EDG. He was on the academy roster. He was a substitute. Now he finally has his opportunity to step into the main roster. And across the course of not just this game, but the next few series that we see, we'll find out if Hope is going to be able to solidify himself as one of the EDG legends.
You do have to wonder, though, is that the best way to go about it? Because you end up in this EDG doctrine where you have to play this certain style, play through Scout, enable the mid laner to start these roams. And it starts to become ingrained into the psyche of these players. And when you're up against someone like Karsa Knight, who, as we said, should be the stronger 2v2 duo in this scenario, they will be the ones that win out against Scout and JJ. And I'm not certain if this is going to be the best port of call for EDG to put their hopes in.
We're going to have to find out. They do have the new refurbished Diana. She's been sent back to the warehouse. She's been repaired. She's been fixed up. And now they've swapped her W and her R. And I think they've made the W the E now. Yep. Oh, no. Luna Rush is the E, right?
Yeah. So the E is now the OR, and the OR is the E. And it means that you've got a little bit more mobility on this Diana, which is why we see her rising up, because suddenly she's actually able to be an assassin pre-level 6 rather than pardon me, running at you. Yeah, that came out of nowhere. Jesus. But
better out than
you,
in. That's what I always say. Here we go. Karsev trying to find a way in the top. Jinnu immediately flashes away, respecting the pressure that Karsa can offer.
Yeah, Jinnu is used to playing without much resources in the early stages of the game, so allowing himself to be pushed in by 369 just to make sure that you aren't going to have too much trouble, but you are going to have, yeah.
JJ wants some right here. Goes up, just smites away the Scuttle Crab. None of that for you, Photic and Chocho. Even looks for a little bit of a skirmish, but he's not going to be able to find that for himself just yet.
Now, Chocho will be able to step away, but at least we're seeing JJ trying to get involved, trying to get out onto the map early to have the influence that he needs. Level 4 already for the Lee Sin versus the level 3 in Karsa, so early game advantages when it comes to those camps going in the way of JJ.
So far, so good for both of these teams. And when we talk about...
Oh,
here
no.
we go. That was not the engage you're looking for, Chocho. And that is his flash burn as well. Unfortunate for him. He actually used his ignite there.
I think that was more a panic of throw everything in the kitchen sink and hope that he can get away.
I don't remember which one flashes on. Just hit DNF
Just
at the same time.
Just get me out of here. I've made a horrible mistake, but that's the problem when you play Nautilus. You have to be careful of those walls. And usually when you're on point, it's not too bad, but a swing and a miss can sometimes put you in a very bad situation.
Yeah, not the best way to start this lane off. And when we're talking about top esports, definitely the question mark for this whole organization is the bottom lane right now, Photic and Chocho. And Chocho making a play like that in the early game, burning both of his summoners, is not the way to go to persuade people otherwise.
Well, I mean, top esports across the board aren't doing particularly well. You've seen 369 already back and use his teleport to pick up the Dorans to try and force, or at least play into Jinnu a little bit better with the extra sustain and health that Doran's Blade does offer. You see Karsa falling behind in levels to JJ because he was able to get in and steal away some of those camps, and now bot lane is going in the way of EDG as well, so JJ is looking to capitalize on that.
Here we go, Zenith Blade on in and a teleport channeled as well. Photic gonna flash away, but Chocho doesn't have a flash available. He's gonna go down. JJ gets the first blood for himself.
And that all stems from the two things we just talked about. Teleport not available for 369 means Jinnu is able to join in. And that big mistake from Chocho now coming back to bite him as EDG turns towards the dragon.
And this will be a simple pickup for them. Nicely done here from the side of EDG. Good presence of mind. They see that Chocho's wasted his summoner spells, and so they force the play down towards that bottom side. They grab themselves an objective to boot. And everything's starting off just nicely for EDG.
And not the start that we expected from top esports at all. We thought it would be the Karsa Knight story. Play around this mid lane, shut down Scout, but everything outside of the mid lane has been going completely sideways for top esports, and EDG have set themselves up nicely now. I mean, it's only a small gold lead. Like, yeah. I mean, it's 100 gold, nothing really to write home about, but it's just starting to get things set up.
And a huge reason that gold lead is so small is when you take a look towards the top side of the map. 369 on this Jax, already building almost a 20 CS lead over Jinnu on something like a Jax as well that's going to scale exceptionally well. That is a dangerous situation for Jinnu to be in.
With the TP that Jinnu sent towards bottom lane, it meant that Jax did get a little bit of free farm. It also meant that Jax got a free back that he didn't have to worry too much about because Jinnu was going to be walking to lane. You've got the Ninja Tabbies built now. Already talked about that extra Doran's Blade. This is now 369's territory to take over this lane and start to bring things back. We already talked about how potent Jax can be in these side lanes, and if top esports are fine to just wave clear with Knight and Photic, 369 can be a win condition for them.
Certainly can. And Jinnu will be able to farm relatively safely on the Aatrox. He can pick them off with the Q there. And you can see Scout going to be able to grab himself a blue buff. I'm excited to see Scout on this Diana pick. You know, this is something that, first off, just seeing the new Diana pick, it's still pretty fresh. I'm still pretty just excited to see it in general. But a player like Scout that we know can have an impact, we know is a playmaker, I want to see this, but JJ has found himself a top laner here. 369 wants the 2v1, jumping on in. Well, he is not going anywhere in this top lane. He is happy to go for these fights on the Jax.
Especially when you've got the rest of top esports wandering up. They think it's just Karsa, but the cavalry is here.
Yeah, I understand now why he's being quite as confident as he is being. Also, the fact that he's able to win these trades against Jinnu 1v1, has the Corrupting Potion, and it's all going to set his team up for this early Rift Herald top. I mean, it's in the name, right? Top Esports, they're all about the top side of the map.
369 playing like the short guy at the bar who's got the mountain as a friend who's just gone to the bathroom for a second. Very far forward, but this is what he's capable of doing. You've got the Grandmaster Might popped, so they can actually go forward, go aggressive, take the trade off of all the extra resistances that they get, and with that play, Top Esports are able to get the Rift Herald. On the bottom side though, Scout's doing a good job of realizing, hey look, I can't clear this mid-wave, I'm in danger of them collapsing on me, so I'm going to start answering for the plates that are taken in the top on the bot side of the map.
We'll see this bit of a base race, as it were, going to be going the way of Top Esports here. They will be able to grab the first tower of the game for themselves. Unsurprising when they're the ones to get the Rift Herald, but it might just be able to be answered as Scout is hammering away down in that bottom side. Obviously, Diana decently quick at split pushing. You do generally build a bit of attack speed.
It's great to get all this extra gold onto your assassin though. Scout wants to be able to go into the back line, use the ultimate, the Starfall, to tear through Top Esports. You're dumping a bunch of extra turret plates onto this Diana. Despite the fact she hasn't really got the kills, you've just answered with so much extra gold. 420 gold, more than a kill, has just been picked up for Scout.
And this is going to be an issue for the side of Top, purely because if Scout can get rolling on this Diana, your team fight win condition, or at least one of, is going to be Photic on the Misfortune, trying to blast through with the bullet time. If Scout can get to the back line, he's just going to ruin that with a Moonfall, completely take that strategy apart.
And you've just got the Rod of Ages picked up for Scout as well, so now starting to slowly gain that those stacks up, which is fantastic to have at only 10 minutes into the game.
Yeah, very, very early Rod of Ages there. Going to be able to get that stacking and start to get that AP to work with. As we see, 369 once again going for these aggressive trades, but Jinnu getting the better of him for now.
Help of the tower shot there. Now 369 realizes there's a lot more of EDG here than I bargained for. Is going to back this one away. But again, Scout off on the side. Nobody to answer for him.
He's getting so many turret plates this game. 369 aggressed by here on GA. That was not a coherent sentence. I don't know what I just said. Scout actually gets the wave cleared against him. And the Sleepy Trouble Bubble might just spell disaster. Electrocute proc by Knight. Does not have the damage to finish a kill.
Too many minions there to get the full range on the Paddle Star. So Scout only knocked towards half health. And when you see this TP list top laner for TES on the top side of the map, you know that the dragon is going to be started by EDG. There's a lot of tops that I've got to make sure I don't put into my sentences.
It's very true. Here we go, though. EDG going to be able to find themselves a Mountain Drake, and it looks like the map is going to be going the way of Ocean this time. And EDG doing a good job here in the early game of managing these objectives, because, you know, obviously the one Herald did go the way of Top Esports, but ultimately it was matched. Scout got all of the plate gold in the bottom lane, and then sending him up towards the top side, able to get a lot of that plating towards him there as well. So Scout is starting to become a real issue already for the side of Top Esports. But we have to bear in mind that a lot of this composition from the side of Top will take a little while before it starts to kick in.
And it also wants to play around objectives. So as long as we kind of have EDG play a similar game to what we saw in the last game, where they tried to avoid going towards these objectives and pick them off through rotations and utilizing the pressure that Scout and Jinnu are getting in these side lanes, they should be in a decent spot to avoid that big team fight scenario from Top.
I think one of the biggest strengths for the side of Top, and it's something we've already been talking about, is this mid-jungle duo, right, in Karsa and Knight. But so far this game, they've been pretty quiet. Like, obviously Knight's doing a great job on the farm. Karsa, he's been a part of some of these objectives. He's been around, but there hasn't been any kills yet for Knight, so he's not been able to have too much of an impact.
And this is actually good play from JJ that started this. You can already see level 8 has stolen, versus level 7, has stolen away some of the camps in Karsa's jungle, which has kept Karsa, I mean, gentlemanly, has kept him in check, make sure that he can't go for these fights and try and jump onto Scout. Plus, at the first notion of any sort of danger, Scout hightailed it out of mid lane.
Scout not looking to be a part of that, not until he's got a couple more items in that Rod of Ages is stacked on up. He's already on 3 stacks for himself. And speaking of stacking, Hope going to be doing the same with his Muramana. Chocho forced to flash away there by Jinnu. Jinnu doing a good job being aggressive on that Aatrox as 369 walks away from the fight.
We are looking at 2:45 before the next Dragon spawn, so at the moment EDG are free to keep this roaming game up, try and have Mako in a supportive role, move in, take some of the damage or at least look for a tower dive. Unfortunately though, they're not going to be able to do too much against 369. He's going to be great in that tower dive scenario, which is why they move back from that play potentially on the top side of the map.
So is this the meta, Dagda? Is this what I've signed up for? Every game is farm for 30 minutes and then team fight?
I thought it was going to be a lot more team fighting, to be honest. There's more objectives to go for that, which is why we're seeing a lot of team fight orientated squads hit the Rift. But EDG looking to take it slow, looking to get the vision control.
Look at Scout. What is that?
Oh my god.
840 gold from plates. That is... I mean, that's efficiency right there. That is a beautiful sight to behold. He's just bought Dark Seal for himself as well. He's coming into this game confident.
He knows. That is a lot of gold. Almost 3 kills going across to Scout off the turret plates that he's picked up. And this is what we're talking about. EDG, they may not play through Scout as in, okay, we're going to gank mid a lot, but it's still Scout who's getting all the resources placed onto him, and now potentially we could see one big moonfall could end top Esports' hopes of taking this Rift Herald.
He's about to end this guy's whole career. Well, maybe not.
I mean,
maybe
that
not.
might be it.
It's a little early in the season for that, but Scout looking strong, but it could be a little while before we see him pop off. Next Dragon going to be a minute away. And so far, it's looking like top are in the position for that, but nobody really fighting to contest it just yet. Nobody's setting up vision. Most of the vision going to be placed around that Rift Herald from the side of EDG. They have full control.
So this is the biggest problem that I see with EDG trying to have Scout and also Jinnu off in the side lane, is that you don't really have Hope as someone who can clear out waves on the Senna very efficiently. It gives the opportunity for top esports to make a play as EDG are trying to sort out their side lanes, and they got that number advantage, but it's just a case of trying to find that opportunity. Now Scout is starting to join the mid lane as they realize, okay, we can't leave these 3-man here because we can't push too far forward in those side lanes just yet.
Well, Photic gonna have this misfortune for himself. Him and Hope, both the rookie AD carries coming on into this split. And, you know, with a composition like this, when you've got the Jarvan, you've got the Nautilus to set it up, he's in a really great position to show up in this game. Misfortune, if you can position correctly and they can get that CC down, all you have to do is hit R and you're going to have a massive impact in the fight. The question is, can he hit R?
Well, Mako's hit Q on, or Mako has been hit by the Q of Knight, and now again.
Here we go, big fight coming on in as Scout goes straight onto the backline. 4 of them hit by the Moonfall, and he flashes away to safety. Not safe enough though, there's the bullet time, and a kill goes the way of Karsa. Now 4 versus 4 because it was Knight that went down on the other side of the fight, and Ocean Drake still going to be aggroed.
There's only the Dawning Shadow available when it comes to ultimates in this fight. So EDG looking to try and use Hope to heal themselves up, and then find a 369 is standing on a ward.
369 wants the flank there. Karsa still here with Smite available. 2,000 remaining as the Dragon resets once again. And this is such an extended fight here. But Scout has TP. This is all about EDG as Mako goes in, forces them away, and secures the objective.
And that's going to be 3 dragons now for EDG, well on their way to having a sub 25-minute Ocean Soul, one of the best ones you can have because of that regen it gives you in fights.
If they can get that this early on, EDG are just going to be walking away with this one. Karsa has found himself 1 kill, but that is not enough to answer for 3 dragons on the side of EDG. And Scout, I like the attempt, but 1v4 maybe a little overzealous.
Trying to see if he could burst out Mako, but unfortunately because they've gone to sniff out what was in that bush, they find Knight. Great play from Mako as well to get the quick stun to follow up with the Zenith Blade, and it means that with the healing from Hope coming through, there's no hope of TES moving in to secure that dragon. Now EDG though are trying to set up their lanes once again. You can see Scout is on top lane duty to try and push that one out, but knows that top have control of the river, so respecting that and moving away.
Perhaps a little bit greedy from Knight in that situation. Looking for the flank, looking for the optimal position, but it's one of those situations where if you do get caught, Zoe is not great at escaping. Yes, your ultimate gives you a little bit of mobility, but once you go out, you end up coming back in again, and that's not a fun situation.
Top will secure this Rift Herald. Now potentially could look to turn mid and use it, especially when they start to see JJ and Mako down this bottom side.
Here we go, onto the tier 2, trying to force this objective for themselves, but 369 is going to be there to stop the situation from happening, and the answer from Top Esports is going to be a herald towards the mid lane. Mako is behind them, as is GAGA. They're looking for a fight right now, but Chocho just narrowly misses the hook.
Rift Herald will only get the singular charge, but that's the mid lane turret gone down. Now Top Esports can move in here and try to support 369 on his endeavor to take that bottom lane turret. Need to keep Photic though in that mid lane to push EDG back and make sure they're not answering for a mid lane terror of their own.
Oh dear, the double ward there in the brush. Not ideal from Chocho and Casa, but there you go. That's what it's like when you get a new
super safe brush. They definitely know.
New jungle on the roster as well. It's one of those. It takes a little time to get that communication. Here we go. 5-man dive could be coming out from top here as Chocho goes on in. 369 going to get the stun onto just the Lee Sin. Dawning Shadow is going to come on through as Mako gets charged down by the bullet time. Scout finds the kill in the back line. And now onto 369. He's got nowhere to go. Crescent Strike lands. The Lunar Rush on cooldown for now. Can he actually catch up? I think 369 maybe gets away with this one.
Just about manages to escape, but Top Esports blunder the play completely, not able to get the dive that they wanted. Scout gets the teleport from the top lane, and with a great kick from JJ, they're able to turn that one back around. We'll catch it now in just a moment on the replay, but everything gone amiss. You can see Chocho is trying to set up this play, again misses the hook, which ends up dragging him into the wall. JJ gets the kick onto 369 here to send him back underneath the turret as well. So the whole setup from Top Esports, where they burst out one member and then go for the turret, completely falls apart, and EDG are able to turn this one around.
And EDG so far have the answer to everything that Top want to do. Now in terms of gold, things are very, very even, but when it comes to control this game, everything is going the way of EDG. They've got 3 dragons already. They're a little bit down when it comes to the towers, but when it comes to vision control, when it comes to positioning on the map, EDG are the ones in the driver's seat, and the dragon is going to be up in 1 minute's time. Top have to contest this.
I mean, that's the beauty of this Ocean Drake. It works in your split push, it works in your team fight if they can get that soul. See Knight trying to poke out as many people as possible right now, so then they are at an advantageous position before they go for the fight. Not able to hit the paddle star though. That's the crucial part of that combo. Now we're looking, Chocho does get hit by the Sonic Wave. Not followed up by JJ. 369 is taking a brave step in towards that river.
Scout looking for the flank. You can see him over towards the blue buff there. Knight goes in, getting a lot of damage down, but he's caught out. He's answered for, and he's taken out of the fight. 369 now, totally alone. The counter-strike will keep him alive for just a moment. Not long enough. Bullet time comes in onto Jinu. 369 finally goes down. Moonfall will be huge there, and it's a fight that's all about EDG. Scouts going crazy and drives right through the team.
And when is Knight going to learn his lesson? Once bitten, twice. Goodbye, Top Esports. EDG now will have their Ocean Drake. They will be the ones firmly in control, and Top are left very much wanting anything to go their way in this game.
My power rankings are in tatters here as Top Esports fall apart, but EDG doing wonders. Scout at the end of that fight. I want to see a replay because there was some cute little mechanics there to make sure he could go the full distance.
Mako has been crucial as well in locking down Knight. Every time they go for the poke to try and set up a team fight. It's Mako's catching out Knight. There's the stun, follow up with the Zenith Blade and the Lunar Eclipse straight away. You get Hope with the Dawning Shadow straight over, and now it's only up to Photic, but unfortunately they can't get enough damage down to get onto EDG or even to make it thick. And there's that fantastic engage you were talking about from Scout. Comes in, the assassin that we wanted Diana to always be, showing up in this game.
Yeah, getting the Lunar Rush as the Q goes in, finds the reset and jumps forward to finish off the fight. And the fact that that's a full ace, 24 minutes into the game, means that EDG are fully in the driver's seat. And, you know, Photic got a pretty good bullet time across the likes of the team there, but 369 doing his best in these fights. He's surviving so very much and doing so much distraction work, but it's just not been enough for them to be able to net anything.
The problem is they're always a man down essentially as these fights kick off because Knight is getting caught. He needs to be far more careful on where he's positioning, make sure he's not just face planting into Mako every time these fights are starting off.
And this is Knight we're talking about.
Exactly.
This is Knight on Zoe. Like, this is... You expect this to be a sensational performance. You expect him to be perfectly in his comfort zone, but Scout, his mid lane opponent, we were talking about these guys as their head-to-head matchup so far, giving him a run for his money.
Yeah, you asked for to look at the stat screen earlier on and it disappeared. I asked for a great performance from Knight and he's disappeared. There's nothing coming up for the mid laner, only giving across so many kills. And you can see as well, understanding that, look, EDG are trying to run us down. Maybe I can get some work done with the GLP 400, but not having the damage there, not having the poke, gives the opportunity for EDG to run away.
And just look at the item difference in these mid laners right now. You have a full tier 3 item as the difference between these players. You've got a tier 2 in either inventory there, but the full Zhonya's sitting available for Scout.
I'm more disappointed Scout sold the Dark Seal. I wanted to see exactly what this guy was going to be able to do. And a bit of a, I want to say like a call out to top esports going, you know, I'm fine. I'm going to go for this because I know I'm going to get a few kills. But 369 turning this bottom lane around.
Yeah, Jinnu does trade it back in the end. We'll be able to just clear these minions away, so nothing going to be taken away there. But we're getting into the danger zone, as you will, if you will. The Elder Drake going to be spawning in 3 minutes' time. Baron already on the map, and EDG are in a fantastic position to force these objectives. Jinnu, though, has overstayed his welcome and immediately has to flash.
And that's going to be pretty crucial for that fight that is going to happen around the Elder Drake. Not having the flash on the Aatrox means it's a little bit more difficult for him to get into team fights or land some of those big knock-ups onto the likes of Photic or Knight in the backline.
Looking across the board here at the items and the rest of these carries, we've not really talked much about Hope across the course of this game. He is, you know, in the same position as Photic. He's come up from the challenger scene. He's come up to try and prove himself here on the EDG lineup. He's been with the organization for a couple of years. Now he's being given this opportunity to join the main roster. So far, so good here on the center. He's got 3 tier 3 items for himself, fully stacked that Mana Moon, or Muramana now.
You're looking towards Hope. My eyes are on JJ. I did not rate this guy as a jungler coming into this series, and I thought it was just going to be Karsa rolling over him and picking up the win in the mid lane with Knight and pushing Scout out of any sort of impact in this game. That has not at all been the case. EDG have done a great job. JJ looks stellar on this Lee Sin, and now they've just picked up a Baron completely uncontested.
5,000 gold lead, a Baron in their back pocket, a minute 30 until the Elder Dragon is on the map. Things are looking phenomenal if you're an EDG fan at home. Scout absolutely living up to his reputation. Jinnu on this Aatrox as well, having a fantastic game for himself. The entire squad, honestly, just doing absolute work. And I mean, we've not really spoken much about Mako across the course of this game. He is one of the kind of franchise players for the side of EDG. He's been playing fantastically here on the Leona, especially... Oh, I say that! He may have got a little bit too deep. No, you blast gone the wrong way! Or did he? Maybe he wants this fight. He is going to flash out in the end. Root going to come down from Hope to save his support. They want this fight. Solar Flare comes in, Dawning Shadow across everyone. Jinyu onto the back line. And Top Esports, I don't know if they can fight this one right now. 369 forced away as the rest of the team taken down. Chocho falls. And look at this. What a performance from EDG.
EDG looking so clean in this game, pushing their advantages in the correct places. Scout getting out of lane to go. We don't care if you guys are looking for team fights. Whatever you want to do, we're going to look for turret plates. We're going to outplay you on the map. And I don't know about you, Munch. I was promised a bunch of team fights when I came over to China to cast the LPL, but we're just getting a clinic from EDG on how to play the map.
I was saying that both of these teams could be top 4 teams coming on in, but EDG making their mark here, showing that they are the favorites in this matchup. You cannot underestimate this team, and I thought that Mako had made a mistake. He wanted to go for this Blasco, and he wanted to force the fight.
I'm not sure if he wanted to go that far. Did have to burn the flash to escape away from Chocho, but with all the members of EDG waiting around the corner, I mean, can I really doubt him?
The history is written by the victors. Mako wanted it to happen. It all worked perfectly, all according to plan, says Mako.
5 years of experience on EDG. That just knowing they're going to be in the back pocket, and now the team fight is kicking off. Chocho's already gone down, and there goes Nice.
It never ends. EDG are putting their foot down. They want this win, and they want it bad. They've already got 2 inhibs. They're going to be looking at a Nexus. They've got the Baron to push on inward. 16-4. 10,000 gold lead. 4 dragons in the back pocket. This is all done for.
And maybe it wasn't V5 problems that made them look so terrible against EDG. Maybe it's just EDG looking as amazing as this against Top Esports, a team we expected to be in the top spot.
They're going to pad their KDAs just a little bit. Another one onto Photic, another one onto 369, and another one onto the Nexus. 18-4, a 30-minute domination coming out from EDG.
Incredibly clean performance coming out from EDG across the board. JJ looking stellar on that first pick Lee Sin, the confidence in the draft paying off. Scout counter picking with the Diana against the Zoe, the pick we are nearly synonymous with Knight in the mid lane, coming out so well. EDG, what happened in the offseason?
Yeah, I mean, EDG have leveled up. And, you know, we were coming into this one kind of unsure on the favorites. I was erring towards the side of Top Esports. Knight? What happened, man? Knight was the guy. Knight and Karsa were meant to be the best mid-jungle duo in the LPL. I mean, everyone has bad games, right? It does happen, but that's more than just a bad game to me.
Well, that was JJ controlling Karsa, getting in, getting the vision, clearing away his camps. Karsa was always on the back foot. I mean, you could even see it from that level 3 where JJ had already gained a level advantage for himself. Scout as well, reading the map so cleanly, moving down to the bottom side. I mean, 840 gold from turret plates. I don't think I've ever seen that much.
And what a treat that we get to see him on the Diana as well. Working excellently, by the way. The Rod of Ages build as well, allowing himself to scale up. And it's good to see a team finishing the game at 30 minutes. Across the course of the last couple of days, we've been seeing teams really stall things out and only fight after the 30-minute mark. But EDG showing that they're willing to force the objectives. When they hit those item spikes, they know how to turn on the heat.
I would love to hear the comms when they hit tab at 10 minutes and see that Rod of Ages complete on Diana, because that's where you know this is very much going to be an uphill battle, but you never got a chance to answer. They just pushed the entire way through and made it look easy.
Yeah, and when you look at the draft as well, we were wondering about this Lee Sin pick, right? We were saying, you know, this is a respect pick, taking it away from Karsa, trying to force the issue from the side of EDG. I don't think so. I think they're quite happy to play this Lee Sin themselves.
Definitely, and we've seen JJ perform in other picks like the Elise as well, who I thought they'd really go and focus for, but obviously still it was a long time ago, going back to season 4, I think it was season 3, the King and Queen of the Jungle. Well, he's got both them looking stellar in this pick.
He certainly does. We'll see what he's got up his sleeves for game number 2. We're going to be heading onto that one in a few minutes' time. Do not touch that browser. We're heading to a quick break. We'll be back right after this.